Welcome into another video in my series where we're going through and testing every single weapon inside of MW3 to see how viable these weapons are to use inside of our Zombies game mode. This is going to include the aftermarket parts, the aftermarket conversion kits, as well as the MW2 weapons. So if you're new around here and you love seeing how weapons perform inside Call of Duty Zombies, make sure you are subscribed with those bell notifications turned on so you're not going to miss out any future uploads. As well, subscribing enters you into my Black Ops 6 giveaways. We are currently going to be announced our brand new winner for the Black Ops Standard Edition on any platform this coming Monday. Now Black Ops 6 is here and the beta is live. So if you don't know, the dates for the beta for this weekend are right here, early access, so you have to pre-order to be able to play August 30th to September 4th. There is multiple ways to grab beta codes to be able to jump in. I know the Call of Duty Twitch channel was running beta codes on a typewriter from the 90s, which was pretty cool. This is going to be your rewards for leveling up inside of the beta on both weekends. So you can see you get an operator skin, a couple operator skins, a weapon blueprint, which is pretty cool. So let me know where you are on as far as rank and level in the Black Ops 6 beta. As well, let me know what your favorite weapon you have been using inside of the Black Ops 6 beta. Let me know that down below in the comment section. I'm really interested to find out what everybody has been running inside of the beta, and I'd like to find out what your guys' thoughts are. So Happy Kush Bush has been was the previous winner. I gave him 2 weeks to get in touch with them 2 weeks to get in touch with me, and I did not hear from them. So on Monday we are going to be picking a brand new winner for a standard edition of Black Ops 6 on any platform. In order to be in the draw, all you need to do is be subscribed, like, and comment my videos. Now, also on YouTube, there is another way to support the channel, which is nothing that I expect any one of you to do. But if you choose so, and you choose to be a legendary supporter and go beyond and above just being a subscriber, you can join the members of the channel. I have 3 tiers set up for that. And if you've ever wondered how the back end of video production looks like for a YouTube video, by becoming a member of my YouTube channel, will give you access to my live video editing. As I edit my videos, you'll be able to watch how I do all of that live and possibly have some input onto how I create the thumbnail for my videos. So again, that is optional and I don't expect anybody to do so, but if you choose to be an absolutely legendary supporter of the channel, you can do so. The link for becoming a channel member you will find down below in the description. As well, make sure your YouTube and Discord are linked. If you join the Zhorde Discord, the link for that is also down in the description. You will be given a special members role within my Discord, which will allow you to see the YouTube live editing channel. So again, thank you so much for everybody who already has become a member, and to anybody who chooses to do so in the future, thank you so very much. Now, in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new aftermarket conversion kit that they put out inside of our Week 6 challenges called the Jack Death March. Now, this aftermarket conversion kit turns the BAL-27 into a burst laser rifle, which is very, very strange to use. So in today's video, we're going to have a look at the BAL-27 with the Jack Death March aftermarket conversion kit for Week 6. We're going to be taking this through all 3 tiers, taking on bounty contracts all the way through. So hopefully by the end of this video, you have a really good feel for how this aftermarket conversion kit will perform inside of our Zombies game mode. And by the end of the video, you should be able to make up your mind on whether or not this BAL-27 aftermarket conversion kit is going to be a viable option for you to be running inside of your Zombies games. So without further ado, let's dive into the BAL-27 aftermarket conversion kit review video today. Welcome into today's video. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I truly do appreciate that. Now, in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at this BAL-27 Death March Jack aftermarket conversion kit, and I was really excited to see what this is going to be like. So it turns the BAL-27 into a 3-round laser burst, which is definitely an interesting conversion. I was really intrigued to see how this was going to perform today. So if you're new to the channel, when I spawn in to do my weapon reviews here, I spawn in and put all of my perks on with absolutely no additions to the weapon whatsoever. Aside from being a mouse and keyboard player, I do like to use Deadshot Daiquiri for the extra critical damage that it does provide. And we did bring in one extra today. That was the golden armor plates that I'm wearing. I'd also brought in mags of holding to use if I felt like this weapon needed, you know, to use mags of holding. I was definitely going to bring them in to use it. And then we go and grab our first bounty contract of the day inside of tier 1, and we go and take on our bounty contract, the first one, at just white rarity with 0 upgrades to the weapon whatsoever. So no pack-a-punch, we have no tools, we have no ammo mods, absolutely nothing, just the base weapon rarity, which was white. And I was doing like very decent damage when I was able to hit like the 3 from the burst, all in like critical shots. Then I was doing some really good damage. So at this point, I was really intrigued, even more so than just knowing that this was going to be a 3-round laser burst. I was curious to see if the laser would travel through multiple zombies, and it definitely does. And you can see here when I hit the cannon and all 3 of the bursts hit the critical shot, it does like outstanding damage. You know, for a tier 1 bounty at white rarity, I definitely wasn't feeling stressed using this weapon. There is a couple downsides to this aftermarket conversion kit I want to mention right off the hop here is, so after you fire, the fire rate is not great. It's definitely not great. It's not horrible, but it is definitely a slow firing burst weapon, and that was something that I noticed during my run today. If you guys have noticed that as well, you know, let me know in the comments if you're feeling the same thing. And then if you're new to MW3 and you want to keep your camo or your blueprint on your gun for your game, make sure you melee the pack-a-punch machine before you use it, or your pack-a-punch crystals, and you'll be able to keep your camo blueprint on your gun for the rest of the game. So we increased the damage output by 1 by going off and visiting the pack-a-punch machine, as you guys saw that. Picked up our second bounty contract inside of tier 1, taking this on now. Again, white rarity, no ammo mods, no tools, just pack-a-punch, and that mimic was easy work. I mean, I'll be honest, that was really easy work. Now, during that mimic bounty contract, there was a player nearby pleading for help. So we went off, threw on my legendary tool, my Shatter Blast, and made our way over to the player to get them up, as this is something I love to do inside of MW3 Zombies. There is no PvP, so there is no reason to not be helping each other out, and anytime I see someone pleading for help, I definitely try and make my way over there and get them up. So the next thing to do was go off and grab our third and final bounty contract of the day inside of tier 1. And we got the Scorcher FX bug. No bueno. I really hope that gets fixed at some point, because it is incredibly annoying. Anyway, here's our third and final bounty contract inside of tier 1, taking it on at pack 1 legendary with Shatter Blast. And holy, I love doing these bounty contracts at the end of tier 1. You're so strong and, you know, pretty much OP for inside of tier 1. So the bounty contracts at pack 1 legendary with an ammo mod inside of tier 1, bounty contracts are super fun. You just feel so strong taking them on. So seeing how well it performed across all of our bounty contracts inside of tier 1, I wanted to dive into tier 2, grab a bounty contract, and not increase any of the damage output on our aftermarket conversion kit for the BAL, and see how it does against a bounty now that we're inside of tier 2. So the bounty's got a lot more health, and our weapon has no more extra damage, so I was curious to see how it would perform. And you can already see like the health bar when we're hitting the critical shots on the mimic, it's doing just awesome damage. That is something that I noticed, and I was like, at this point I was like, okay, so we're pack 1, we're inside of tier 2, and we are doing some definite decent damage to a bounty contract being only pack 1 inside of tier 2. So I was feeling really confident using this aftermarket conversion kit for the BAL-27. And, you know, seeing this one coming up on the horizon, knowing that this was going to be a conversion kit we were getting for the BAL-27, I was kind of really excited at this point, because it definitely dishes out the damage. Like, this hits hard. So we're off to pack 2 now. I want to increase the damage output one more time and grab another bounty contract inside of tier 2 and see, you know, how much of a difference this is going to be now that we are pack 2 legendary inside of tier 2. And I'm sorry, player, I totally grabbed that contract. Yeah, so it is what it is. I needed a contract. Sorry. Made off and grabbed the bounty, which was a Disciple inside of tier 2, being pack 2 legendary with an ammo mod. I wasn't feeling like this was going to be much of an issue. There was a lot of zombies in the area while I was taking on my Disciple bounty contract today. And like one burst to the Disciple's hand inside of tier 2 will crack the healing. So that is definitely something that I like to see. I don't want to be able to, have to unload half a magazine or a magazine into the Disciple to stop him from healing off of me. I want to be able to do that as quickly as possible so that we can stop the Disciple from regaining health. So here I am cracking our Disciple bounty contracts hand to stop him from healing. And then I noticed we had another Disciple decide to try and third party the fight here and was beefing up zombies in the area as well. Now my bounty contract was almost done at this point, so it wasn't much of an issue to deal with the bounty contract, and the Disciple that was a non-bounty, I think it was 1 or 2 bursts inside of tier 2 and it was gone. So that was awesome, like just awesome. The damage output on this conversion kit double packed is truly immense. I was really impressed with the damage output being only pack 2. Like, this is awesome. Just a couple bursts and you can take out just about anything inside of tier 2. Your bounty contracts might take a little bit more bursts to get through them, but it's definitely not an issue. So seeing how it was performing now across tier 1 and tier 2 throughout the bounty contracts we have taken on today, I wanted to dive into tier 3. Stop at the Wonder Fizz machine, grabbed all of the perks, as I love to run inside of tier 3 with all perks inside of MW3 Zombies. So we did that. We grabbed our PhD, Depth Perception, and Tombstone were the only 3 that we were missing. And then it was time to push on through into tier 3, keeping this BAL-27 with the aftermarket conversion kit only at Pack-a-Punch 2 legendary with an ammo mod. And I wanted to see how is it going to handle zombies inside of tier 2 being only pack 2. I mean, the dogs I wasn't really too concerned about. One burst was getting rid of the dogs, so that was definitely nice to see. But you can see when you get all 3 of the burst fire shots to hit a zombie, it's just about 2/3 of their health only being pap 2. So 2 bursts and you should be able to clear any zombies in front of you, because you can shoot through multiple with the laser beam. So that's pretty cool. I was definitely feeling pretty confident using it at pack 2. And then I moved on a little bit further into tier 3 and noticed that we had a standard HVT, a Mangler in the area. So I figured let's see how this does at pack 2 against a standard HVT, a Mangler. And you can see it wasn't much of an issue. The critical shot there activated Elemental Pop, which froze him, gave him Cryo Freeze. So that made it really easy, but definitely strong and heavy hitting, being only Pack-a-Punch 2 inside of tier 3 on this conversion kit. So definitely awesome damage output for sure. Now came the real test, was I wanted to see how it handles a absolute large crowd inside of tier 3 being only pack 2. How does it handle crowd control? So like I've been saying, the 3 burst does dish out a ton of damage. The fire rate is what you see me struggling with on screen right now. As you're waiting to be able to fire another burst into the crowd, they are still moving at you at tier 3 ludicrous speed, and you're going to have to, switch weapons or maneuver yourself to reposition in order to fire into your crowd control. But again, at pack 2, the damage output is viable to deal with zombies and such inside of tier 3. Crowd control, as you can see with the fire rate, not so much at Pack-a-Punch 2 inside of tier 3. You're definitely able to dish out the damage. I mean, there's an absolute massive horde of zombies you can see chasing me. And as far as, repositioning because of the rate of fire on this conversion kit, the damage output wasn't much of an issue. So, I feel like this is definitely going to be something that you guys can bring in and run inside of tier 3, and you'll be able to handle the zombies, the bounty contracts without much of a struggle. Like I said, the only thing you're going to have to deal with, as you've seen on screen, is repositioning and possibly just kind of keeping your feet moving because of the rate of fire is just a little bit slow on this conversion kit. But I mean, the damage output is definitely there at only pack 2. So seeing how it was done so far, it was time to throw on our Pack-a-Punch 3 Crystal, get the BAL-27 with the Death March aftermarket conversion kit to max damage output, and see how it handles a standard HVT. This Mimic here was definitely not having a good day with the aftermarket conversion kit. We were able to get rid of that standard HVT in tier 3 pretty easily. There was a pretty decent horde coming at me here inside of tier 3. So again, I wanted to show you crowd control, but this time we're max damage output on this aftermarket conversion kit for week 6. And it definitely made a big difference getting to pack 3, as I was able to, mow down through more than, 1 or 2 zombies with a blast of this laser. So, being excited, I had to come over and show George, the Guardian of the Arches, my brand new laser toy. and see if Zhorde was interested in seeing how this laser performed, because I know I was really excited to take on Zhorde and see how this performed, especially seeing how much damage just is available during the 3 bursts that you shoot. So I was eager to get in some critical shots on Zhorde and see how this handled. That there was, of course, a ton of crowd control in the area. We had a standard HVT come at me, which wasn't much of an issue to deal with. And then we were able to kind of focus our fire in on Zhorde as we had can't speak. If I had cleared out the majority of the crowd control in the area. Wow, that was such a tongue twister to say. So we got another disciple coming at me, which wasn't much of an issue. Like I said, I was able to clear out most of the riffraff in the area before engaging Zhorde, which is definitely something I like to do when I've got a bounty contract inside of tier 3, is trying to clear out, you know, all of the congestion that is going to be around while I'm dealing with my HVT or my bounty contract, so that I can then focus fire in on the bounty and get the critical shots in and eliminate the bounty as quickly as I possibly can. Zhorde fired up his laser attack here, and 3 bursts into a laser attack, and I was able to crack one of Zhorde's heads. That was impressive. That was really impressive. At this point, I was like, okay, hey, wait a minute. I know the fire rate on this might be kind of slow, but the damage output is remarkable on this. If you can hit the 3 critical shots into Zhorde's face, like, the damage output is amazing. There's already 2 heads taken off, and I think I fired maybe a total of 6 shots into Zhorde's 2 heads. So we're about 6 or 7, I would say, just to be safe. You know, burst fires into Zhorde's face to take out a Mega Abomination side of tier 3. He's got 1 head left. We're just kind of clearing out the last remaining riffraff around here before I'm able to jump down and trigger up Zhorde to fire up his last laser attack. And you can see here we got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then you can see the damage coming off Zhorde. We need maybe 2 more bursts in and Zhorde is finished. So definitely some remarkable damage output on this aftermarket conversion kit for the BAL-27. 100%. I mean, you can really see the damage I was able to dish out right there to Zhorde. It wasn't much of a struggle. You know, like I said, the only issue I was having during my run today using this was just kind of having to constantly be moving around just to deal with the rate of fire. Now, tier 3 had been busy when I was in here today with people using Scorchers to jump over and grab contracts. I think I got lucky where people were doing a holdout and had just grabbed a bounty, so I got absolutely lucky, and the cargo contract showed up. Yes! So I was able to grab the cargo contract and get this one done. I love getting the cargo contract done inside of tier 3 because it's, you know, it's quick and it's one of the easiest contracts to do inside of tier 3. Especially with it being busy, being able to grab one of these when I know that there's people in here using Scorchers to get around and grab contracts quickly. That being able to grab a, you know, a relatively easy, so to speak, contract inside of tier 3 is definitely a bonus and something I love to do. Got a sigil out of that, which wasn't too bad. We'll save that to help out members inside of the Zhorde community Discord if they need help inside of the Dark Ethers. That's what we're going to be collecting those for. So now it was off to grab a bounty contract inside of tier 3 and see how this BAL-27 aftermarket conversion kit's going to perform against the bounty. And the bounty we got was a Mangler. And holy smokes, the critical damage that you were able to do with each and every burst fire on bounty inside of tier 3 with this conversion kit is awesome. This hits really hard. It's definitely a heavy hitter. And again, you constantly got to kind of keep moving around when you're using this. Because of the rate of fire, you can't just stand there and mow down everything in front of you. You can, you know, damage and delete just about everything in front of you. But again, that rate of fire is going to catch up to you as the congestion moves in. As you can see right here, you just kind of have to keep moving around. But the damage output is super strong on this aftermarket conversion kit. I was happy to see that. Some of the recent aftermarket conversion kits, personally for me, have been a little bit underwhelming with the way they perform. So seeing one that hit really hard inside of tier 3 was awesome to see. I'm really excited about that. The BAL-27 is one of my favorite weapons to use. Sounds really cool. And it's also just, it's a good weapon to use for maneuverability. It's very solid to shoot. This aftermarket conversion kit was a little bit of a trick to build for me to get it to be stable when firing the burst, as I was having trouble with it climbing with the 3 burst fires. So if you have any suggestions for the weapon build, let's work together at the end of the video in the comment section and make those suggestions there so we all have an awesome build to use on this aftermarket conversion kit. And you can see standard HPT Mangler coming at us, not an issue at all. Our bounty contract sitting in the back here, not much of an issue. We're just kind of pushing forward here and taking them out with the critical shots as we had the crowd control under control inside of tier 3. So this was awesome and just absolutely wrecked that bounty inside of tier 3. Truly awesome damage output on this aftermarket conversion kit. Grabbed a perk which I was gonna exfil with and keep for my next match, and then we had to go and visit Zhorde, the Guardian of the Arches, for the second time of the match because I was just feeling really feisty. I've got a laser toy. Come on, Zhorde, you've got to like this. It's a laser. So we brought Zhorde over to our scaffolding cheese spot here. However, there was like rush hour for zombies in the area. So this took a hot minute to get through to having Zhorde fire up his laser attack. There was also another player in the area spamming me for invites, which I wasn't going to join because after this fight, my plan was to head out and exfil. So I didn't want to, you know, join a squad and then just leave. I felt like that would be kind of silly. So he was here helping me out, and we managed to finish off Zhorde, the Guardian of the Arches, for the second time in this match with our new laser toy, which is super cool to use inside of our Zombies game mode. And then I noticed the storm was definitely pushing in super fast. I didn't know if I was even going to make it to that ether tear to be able to launch myself in the sky, to push myself in front of the storm. As you can see, as I'm parachuting, I still had my gas mask on for a good portion of that jump, but we did manage to land in front of the storm and get the exfil chopper to come in and take us out of here. Overall, this aftermarket conversion kit for the BAL-27 for week 6 is definitely a fun one to use. It hits super hard. It's got a ton of damage. The fire rate is a little bit slow, I will say that. I found the ammo capacity to be just fine on this weapon. So overall, definitely I would feel that this is a viable weapon to use inside of our Zombies game mode for sure, as long as you're okay with a little bit of a slow fire rate. Now, as I do at the end of every one of my videos, I didn't bother to use mags of holding for this run today. I just didn't feel like it needed it. But this is the build that I used for today's video. So if you want to make any changes to that, let's make them down in the comment section so that we all have an absolutely amazing build to use on this aftermarket conversion kit. It is the Jack Death March is what it's called. Pretty cool name. This is the description and the pros and cons right there. And the camo that I was running, so you guys know, is from the special camos, and it's for the pre-order of Black Ops 6. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.